वेलकम टू द फर्स्ट एपिसोड ऑफ युद्ध कक्षा।
वेलकम।
हम लोग इस पॉडकास्ट को युद्ध कक्षा बुला रहे हैं क्योंकि हम अपने आप को स्टूडेंट्स मानते हैं। मैं सिद्धार्थ हूँ और मेरे साथ मेरा भाई करण है।
हेलो। तो हमारा पॉडकास्ट तीन चीज़ों से मुख्य चीज़ों से डील करेगा। सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट जो चीज़ हमें जो लगती है, हम जिसके लिए इंथुजियास्ट है, वो है कॉम्बैट स्पोर्ट्स, एनीथिंग रिलेटेड कॉम्बैट। और उसके सराउंडिंग जो भी डाइट, न्यूट्रिशन,
ऑल द एसेंशियल्स।
हाँ, जो भी एसेंशियल्स हैं उसके साथ ये डील करेगा। सेकेंडली, वो गेस्ट्स को भी बुलाएंगे जो इस फील्ड से रिलेटेड है। तो हम लोग को लगा कि इट इज़ हाई टाइम दैट अ कल्चर ऑफ कॉम्बैट इज क्रिएटेड इन इंडिया।
Although it is being created, like people have seen Anshul Jubli on the Beer Biceps podcast, people have seen some upcoming fighters. We do talk about UFC, लेकिन उस लेवल पे नहीं है जिस लेवल पे होना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारे अप एंड कमिंग आर्टिस्ट, मार्शल आर्टिस्ट जितने हैं, जो हम लोग जिनको हम देखना चाहते हैं यूएफसी पे, उनको भी बहुत ज़्यादा इंकरेजमेंट मिलेगी अगर हमारी कंट्री में ज़्यादा लोग इस स्पोर्ट की तरफ ध्यान देने लगें तो। और they will also be promoted by the promotions like UFC or One Championship. Fight promotions will promote Indian fighters if Indian public starts watching these things, because ultimately it's a game of money. So
Right. And for that, a culture of combat has to be created in India.
yeah,
That's what this podcast aims to do.
yeah,
And thirdly, we will also bring in those people, those people who are involved in the lost martial arts which India or Bharat itself had. Like people from Sanatan, Shastra Vidya, Kalaripait, all these people will also be brought on this podcast to discuss their art.
हमारे पास भी मल्ल युद्ध हुआ करते थे अखाड़ों में, जिसमें अखाड़े में पहलवान कुश्ती लड़ते थे।
तो ये जो तीन मुख्य चीज़ें हैं उस पे हमारा पॉडकास्ट रिवॉल्व करेगा। हम लोग स्टार्ट UFC 300 से कर रहे हैं। 300 इवेंट, मेन इवेंट की एनिवर्सरी है, तो वी थॉट कि उससे हम लोग शुरू करेंगे। एंड देर आर कूल फाइट्स लाइंड अप ऑन दिस कार्ड, और वी विल मोस्टली बी फोकसिंग ऑन मेन कार्ड। और ये उन उन लोगों के लिए पहले डिस्क्लेमर है जो लोग बोलेंगे कि ये लोग क्या बात कर रहे हैं, ब्लैब। पहले ही क्लियर कर रहे हैं हम लोग कि ये चैनल एक दो इंथुजियास्टिक ब्लैबर माउथ्स का है, राइट। यहाँ तुमको एक्सपर्ट गाइडेंस और एक्सपर्ट टिप्स नहीं मिलेंगे,
हमसे नहीं मिलेंगे। हम लोग जो एक्सपर्ट्स को बुलाएंगे उनसे मिल सकते हैं।
करेक्ट। हम लोग बस इंथुजियास्ट हैं। ये एक कक्षा है जहाँ पहले विद्यार्थी आया है, अभी तक अध्यापक नहीं आया है।
ठीक है, so we start with Bo Nickel and Cody
ब्रांडेज।
Cody Brundage.
हाँ, तो
I don't know much about this guy. I started watching Cody Brundage only after you told me about him. You
Yeah.
asked me to watch his highlights. But Bo Nickel I've been aware of since a while because of Henry Cejudo. तो इसमें मैं थोड़ा biased रह सकता हूँ, लेकिन but even though I've seen just the highlight reel of Cody, it was pretty special. Like as an athlete, he is remarkable.
रिमार्केबल इन व्हाट सेंस?
I I felt like his movement is not for playing to the galleries. His movement is always purposeful.
Right, right, right. Much more efficient, correct.
It's very efficient.
But I think it is in any case, this is a big step up for Bo Nickel.
Okay, how?
Yeah, because for the first time, he's facing a MMA fighter who has also competed in college wrestling, who can hang with people in his gym, which he trains at Colorado. And thirdly is that he's also pretty good at stand-up. As you said, his movements are efficient in the stand-up.
He is a knockout artist based on what I've seen,
Yeah.
and he has submitted people with a guillotine with.
Rear naked choke.
I think he has done that too. I'm not sure if I saw that correctly. My memory is not serving me correctly. But anyway, he has done some submissions as well.
Right.
And he has knocked people out. So he's good in both places, stand up and ground.
Yeah, it's definitely a step up for Bo in this case. And one more thing you have to
And
realize.
his ground and pound looks very scary.
Right, right, right. And one more thing you have to realize is they are not far apart in terms of age. He's 28, Brundage is 29. They are Bo definitely has a reach advantage, but I don't think that matters with his, because their style is a wrestling style and they like to close distances and all. But I think Bo Nickel का ये बहुत अच्छा है कि the only fight I see with him is that, because the story of the fighter I see is with Khamzat, and in that context उसमें this fight makes a lot of sense. and this fight will be a great test for Bo Nickel, because the exciting fights right now at middleweight I see is with Bo Nickel and Hamza.
And Hamza being called the boogeyman of the division, the up and coming guy presented as like, okay, this guy is the David for the Goliath, that is Hamza. और Bo Nickel with any opponent we have seen him, या तो college days के उसके videos देख लो, इतना खतरनाक तरीके से he has like taken people down और like,
एंड ये फाइट में और एक बात जा रही है कि कोडी बर्नडेज के पास ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस है, एमएमए एक्सपीरियंस है, बट कॉम्पिटिटिव एक्सपीरियंस किसका है? तुम देखो ना बो निकल का कॉम्पिटिटिव एक्सपीरियंस कितना ज्यादा है.
एक जगह कोडी ब्रांडेज ज्यादा बेटर है, स्टैंड अप में ज्यादा बेटर है वो बो से. इन टर्म्स ऑफ आई मीन इफ यू सी बो, अगर वो पंच कर रहा है किसी को, he takes a step in jab, step in hook, step in uppercut also. He always steps in, steps out. He doesn't stand there and fight with the fighter. So far we have not seen it. We've seen him, at least I've not seen it.
I mean, yes, because we have seen very little of Bo actually, because he does that. He does his thing in very quickly. It's
I mean,
mostly first round finishes.
Yeah, but he does, like, even when he's taking people down, he does that Khabib thing that Khabib did with Conor, like the overhand right and then go for the takedown.
Right. Yeah. He's superb in his fundamentals.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, his stand up is not to the point where Cody has taken his stand up to. Bo should be afraid of his punches. Getting caught by a punch.
But I don't know, man, because I think this might be my personal bias. I think Bo Nickel is training at American Top Team, and that camp is known for strikers. Like, for instance, if you take Bo knows his game, and his striking is an instrument to that game. Although he has knocked out people, but I don't think that was his intention always.
Okay.
Right? His fundamentals are sound, but personally speaking, there is no exciting fight at middleweight right now. With Israel gone, the only other exciting fight which makes sense right now is Bo Nickel and Hamzat, and that is what UFC wants. I want that Hamzat Nickel to happen. That has an incredible storyline, whether it is Russia versus USA.
Weirdly, this particular one has not been built up by the fighters, but the people around.
I mean, the wrestling community would be invested.
Yeah.
Because in Hamzat and Bo Nickel also, the wrestling community wants that fight to happen. It is a test between American wrestling versus Russian wrestling.
It's a very Greek thing. Our best guy versus your best guy.
Yeah. And
Both
yes, one more thing.
Yeah.
Cody Brundage has competed in light heavyweight. Remember that? Yeah.
Heavier.
So this is a significant challenge for Bo in terms of weight class.
What is Bo walk around at? Like, what's his walk around?
Does
he cut a lot, or does
I don't think he cuts a lot. I mean, he would be at 200, near to 200 pounds, but I don't think he...
That's almost a light heavyweight.
No, but Cody must have walked around at 220, 230.
Bigger guy, and this guy, Bo, has been a champion since he was a child, apparently. Like, there were 9-year-olds wearing t-shirts with, with his name.
Right.
When he himself was 9 or 10 years old.
Right.
So he had fans since that age, and he was that good at wrestling since that age. He's used to the limelight. He's used to people's appreciation and all that. I think his mind is pretty balanced right now on the art itself.
That's an important point, because one of the thing which is going, I mean, in this pay-per-view is that Bo Nickel will face the pressure of 300 because he has been shifted from prelims to mains. I mean, there is a lot of controversy on that also, but as you...
I don't get that. Like, how is Yuri being an ex-champion and Aljamain being an ex-champion in the prelims and this guy in mains?
The thing you said about...
eyeballs, right?
Eyeballs, off camera. That is the thing, because how much eyeballs are you bringing? And UFC is not dumb. They are actually story makers more than that is a job of a promoter, right? A good promoter is a storyteller. So, ये लोग क्या कर रहे हैं कि Bo Nickel they are setting up that fight piece by piece. So that is what it is. And personal pick is Bo Nickel.
Mine too. I want Bo Nickel to win. So we're on the same page when it comes to that.
Right.
Saryukin versus Oliveira.
Champion has a name, but he does not have a belt. So, let's see the attributes here. Arman Saryukin, 7 years younger. Reach not that far apart. That does not matter. And he's trained at Georgia, started with freestyle wrestling. He's also won a grappling contest, NAGA, Naga tournament. Jones has also competed in that. Strengths, never been submitted. He's the first person to take down Islam Makhachev, champion. He
Seen that.
finished Dariush faster than Oliveira.
Hmm.
Last and not the least, one of the most important attribute he has is hunger. क्यों लग रहा है चार्ल्स ओलिवेरा जीतेगा?
See, I think चार्ल्स ओलिवेरा में पहली बात तो एक चैंपियन का कॉन्फिडेंस है उसमें. He fights adversity
Championship
very well.
experience.
He fights adversity very well in the sense he'll put himself in uncomfortable positions. And he'll face it like a man. Just when he fought Justin Gaethje, I actually thought this guy is going to lose. मुझे लगा Justin
क्यों?
will be able. Justin felt more powerful. Justin felt stronger. I mean, we know he's very strong when it comes to hitting people.
Right.
And his effectiveness of his, he has a knockout punch.
He has stronger punch than
his
Dustin.
leg kicks are crazy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he would break Oliveira that way, but Oliveira beat him at his own game. He went in really close. He closed the distance, started like holding his head and hitting him with the knees and everything, and he literally was falling down and
Pulling guard. Yes.
People are afraid to go on the floor with him, but Arman will go and fight him on the ground as well. And I'm pretty sure because he has taken Islam down. We have seen his fight with Islam. We know that his wrestling is far better, but I also know that Oliveira prepares a lot. So after Islam, he must have prepared for a challenge like that.
Right.
Because he almost had a rematch with Islam again, where Volkanovski had to, replace him.
Yeah, I would still say that Oliveira's jiu-jitsu is way better than Arman would be. His grappling in terms of wrestling and these things would be, and Oliveira won't charge at Arman for a wrestling this thing, but I still think that Arman's ground tactics is a bit sus. He uses more of strength than skill to get him out of dangerous positions.
And Arman has something that Merab has, if you've seen it.
Yeah, exactly.
Pressure. He maintains the pressure for a long time.
I find that when it comes to jiu-jitsu, Charles Oliveira has an upper hand. And yes, and what about, so what would you describe as the attributes of Charles Oliveira? One would be if a longer reach,
of course.
right? Striking. Can he maintain the same pressure he did with Dustin and Justin? Granted that they were strikers, not wrestlers.
I mean, it's his based on his age. What's his age? How old is Oliveira right now?
Oliveira is 34 years.
It would be his last run at the title. Last run at the title in the sense he now if he fights like 2 more fights, he can go to the title and fight Islam again. Okay. And after beating Saryukin, it would be more of a legit chance where he has proved himself with the last win against Dariush, and he's ready for Islam.
Right.
And because he's 34, I think he'll have only a couple of chances to defend his title again, and then he'll retire. So it's his last run to remain a champion and retire a champion. You know what I mean? Otherwise, he'll go down.
So that negates that hunger aspect of Arman. I mean, not negates exactly, but balances
out. And also, again, like Oliveira, he's not just a regular fighter. If you see, I mean, he's not a fluent English speaker, so I don't think he's as famous in other parts of the world. But he has the quality of showmanship, like Conor did, like Kumaru tried to emulate, like Izzy does. He wears flashy clothes. He has a flashy hairstyle and all that. So he, being at 300, which is one of the biggest stacked cards that UFC has, he wouldn't want to lose in it. I'm just saying, a showman also likes to win.
What you said about adversity, I think Charles Oliveira, I mean, post his daughter being born, I think that made a difference. People say that made a difference in his life. But after that, you see him, he's a completely different guy. And when it comes to facing adversity, rising up to the occasion, I think Charles Oliveira has that. And as you said, it is a last run at the title.
Yeah. I think so. I mean, I don't know. Some people like, what's his name? Who's the dude? Like Glover. Glover fought when he was 42 and he still won.
But those were at the higher weight. So the expiry date gets higher as you go above certain weight classes.
Charles feels durable to me. If you remember his...
This is one important point I missed, is that he cannot afford to fall down in front of Arman Saryukin.
Yeah.
He cannot do that. If he gets hit and he falls down, it's done.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are Georgian, Dagestani wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I don't think that...
I mean, we have seen what happened with Islam. But round one, even though that happened, Oliveira managed to get up.
Right.
Islam and Oliveira were both fighting on the ground, and this guy managed to get up.
So final prediction.
I want Oliveira to win, but I see that the more dominant fighter in this fight is Saryukin.
Okay,
So
if Oliveira,
logic,
hypothetically, if Oliveira wins, how do you envision it him winning? Like, what advice would you give to Charles Oliveira to not do in this fight?
what the fuck? I'm not a fighter.
No, but
But
seeing
enthusiast, as an enthusiast, whatever I've learned so far, whatever I've seen so far, okay, I'll be playful with this. Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Hmm.
What I want to see, in fact, like, what I want to see
yeah,
as a viewer.
yeah, that's better, huh?
I would want Charles Oliveira to enter and shock Saryukin
Hmm.
in the first round itself, like with a strong hit, the way he did Justin.
Hmm.
He beat Justin in a way where Justin says that he felt a shock wave go from his head to the toe,
Correct.
right? So I would want Oliveira to do something like that with this guy. और अगर early finish हुआ तो Oliveira के जीतने के chances ज़्यादा है.
और गैस टैंक का बोल नहीं सकते. I mean, this guy is a wrestler. और स्ट्राइकिंग में Oliveira is better.
Striking Oliveira is definitely better. I don't see a
And because he comes from a shoot boxing, which he
But-
spars. The entire camp is known for sparring.
No, but you see, Oliveira has a tendency to get punched. He gets punched, he falls, and he waits for the opponent.
Yeah,
to miss back.
that is not to be done.
That's what I'm saying. His striking might be good, but his defense isn't entirely.
Striking defense.
Striking defense isn't. So
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that guy is good at his striking defense because he's a wrestler, of course. So he
Yeah,
must
he's
have worked
very
on
good
it.
at his striking defense. Yes.
He'll
Okay, so
actually-
your pick in this would be Charles Oliveira.
I want Charles
You want
Oliveira to
Charles
win,
Oliveira
but
to win.
my pick is Arman. I think Arman wins.
So you're going with your head.
Yeah.
I would, yeah. I mean, I would purely go with my head on this. I think Arman, the younger guy, and the more hungrier guy, he has a chip on his shoulder. I think Arman.
Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje.
I think fight of the night. It
Yeah,
has the
performance
potential.
bonus.
Do you
Yeah,
think
fight of the
this-
night bonus definitely 50k
I
extra.
होगा तो ये understatement रहेगा वो बोला.
Uh,
Obvious statement है.
Obvious, हाँ.
हाँ.
BMF build के लिए भी है ना ये तो.
ये लोग build के लिए है. Exactly. So let's go with Justin Gaethje. मैं क्या सोचता हूँ? He is much more patient fighter after he lost to Oliveira.
So you mean let's start with Justin? I thought let's go with Justin Gaethje as in we are supporting him to win.
No.
We don't know.
हाँ तो
Let's start with Justin. Yeah.
हाँ सबसे important चीज उसकी मुझे लग रही है कि he is much more he seems much more patient. Like he was reckless. He was a wrecking ball. He did not care if his leg hurt. That's what Dustin said in an interview. He did not care if his own leg hurts. He was just throwing his leg kicks recklessly, throwing his hands recklessly. And that also can be seen in Charles Oliveira fight, where he basically misses and he falls down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
उसका recklessness I think has been controlled. He is as he was in the Tony Ferguson fight. If there is a line in between rounds. Trevor Whitman, his coach, says to Justin Gaethje कि अबे तू 100% फेंक रहा है. तू एक काम कर, कॉम्बिनेशन पे ध्यान दे, थोड़ा सोच समझ के मार, और पावर को तू रिड्यूस कर सकता है 80% 70%. And that's what he did, and tremendously different result he got. I think something has switched in Justin after Oliveira. He is not as reckless as he used to be. I find. And one more thing is that is his natural weight class. One common perception a casual perception which would go against him in this would be that Max has better conditioning. He's like a Nate Diaz of 145.
Yeah, he has a chin too.
Right?
Yeah.
But you cannot count out Justin Gaethje's conditioning because he trains at Denver. He trains with Trevor
Yeah, he
Whitman.
does. Okay, I agree with that. But
And he has natural weight class.
yeah.
And lastly, I think that Justin will not see something which he has not already seen when it comes to Max.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So those would be my takes of why I would pick Justin.
But again, like even though it's something that he has not already seen, he knows the side that he has already seen of stand-up fights with like killers like Dustin and other Chandler too. Like his fight with Chandler also was pretty great.
Right.
Yeah. So even though he has had these fights before, he knows how unpredictable they can be.
Yeah.
Right. So now coming to Max Holloway. the volume of punches the man throws
Right.
are the highest compared to anyone in UFC or of any weight class, right? So that's one thing. Second thing, Max Holloway.
Is that a stat?
That's a stat I saw
Right.
recently. So we can check that out actually. You can you Google it at the same time while I'm.
Right.
So Max Holloway's cardio is also pretty good. Like his gas tank is good.
Yeah.
Dustin seems to get really tired because of that power that he has.
Justin.
Justin. He is a better boxer than Justin.
Yeah,
He's one of the
obviously
one
a
of the
better
best boxers.
than-
One of the best boxers in the UFC.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
But
He's
so-
far more stable-headed. This is something I thought of. Like I thought Justin has a tendency. I know he's controlling it now, but he has a tendency to get emotional in fights.
Right.
Holloway is not. Holloway gets the more he gets into it, the more stable he gets. Even if he's getting emotional, he's emotionally stable.
Right.
He uses it well.
And people are actually counting him out. I mean, completely counting him out.
Max has generally been counted out.
No, but earlier there used to be some charm to Max Holloway's fight when he used to come. There used to be support for him, but this time I don't see that happening. He's been completely counted out.
I mean, it's been a while since he has been champion. It's had a couple of losses, and he lost against Dustin too. He has lost against Volkanovski.
And one more point which can be made about Holloway is about how he's coming up right now. Like he's properly preparing himself to be a proper lightweight.
Right, yeah.
Like earlier.
And you can see his current training, like, his body is changing into something.
Athletic.
It looks healthier according to me, because Dustin says that he's a big guy and he walks around at 155 and he wouldn't have to cut too much. He can be pretty healthy. He can just show up, fight.
Right.
But I'm also worried because I've been watching that Road to UFC 300 videos and Holloway बहुत दुखी लग रहा है यार. मतलब पता नहीं वीडियो में शक्ल उतरी हुई है, थका हुआ लग रहा है. एंड जस्टिन इज इक्वली लाइक चर्पी, हैप्पी. वो उसकी स्ट्रैटेजी है या पता नहीं क्या है, लेकिन लग तो रहा है दुखी. जैसे कि जब I'll tell you what, when Dustin fought Conor when his leg broke, I remember supporting a third fight. Yeah, I was supportive. I wanted Conor to win. It was a comeback, right? लेकिन as soon as we started watching that and we see Conor enter for that Stephen A. Smith's interview, you see Conor walk in a weird way. You know he has an injury. You know he's not like all positive. He's not confident about himself. तो वो चीज़ मुझे हॉलवे में दिख रही है. मुझे नहीं दिख रहा वो कॉन्फिडेंट. मुझे दुखी लग रहा है वो. मुझे कुछ तो गड़बड़ लग रही है. ऐसा लग रहा है कि कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड है कोई फाइट इन द सेंस ऑलरेडी, क्योंकि हॉलवे इज कमिंग इन विद द माइंडसेट कि हाँ आई ट्राई बट आई थिंक आई एम अबाउट टू लूज. ऐसा लग रहा है मुझको. तो उसके आगे नहीं पता.
मे बी शायद वो कुछ
आई एम रीडिंग टू मच इनटू इट. मे बी इट कैन एब्सोल्युटली बी दैट.
राइट. See, there is Max Holloway का this run मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा. First of all, is this purely an 300 में लगाई है फाइट इसलिए गई कि ये प्योरली एंटरटेनमेंट रहना चाहिए, राइट? बिकॉज मैक्स हॉलोवे का क्या मोटिव है मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा 155 का. डज ही वांट टू रिमेन एट 155? डज ही वांट टू गो बैक? बिकॉज ही इज कॉलिंग आउट इलिया.
आई थिंक इट्स हाँ ठीक है, आई अंडरस्टैंड इज कॉलिंग आउट इलिया, लेकिन अगर वो हाँ आई डोंट थिंक ही कैन टेक अ रन एट इस्लाम. ऑब्वियसली आई मीन मैक्स हॉलोवे इज नॉट हैविंग द स्किल्स टू विन अगेंस्ट इस्लाम. आई कैन जस्ट blatantly say that there is no chance Holloway wins.
99.1%.
Yeah. So I think BMF title is just another feather in the cap.
Right. And yeah, because another feather in the cap, and also because he would be the first person to win both an UFC title as well as a BMF title. Bo Nickal इसके बारे में जबरदस्त चीज बोला था कि उसे एक ये लोग क्विज करते रहते हैं ना ये लोग, तो उनसे पूछा कि what is the baddest motherfucker? He said कि people who win are the baddest motherfuckers. So he said competing is more important than these things. So उसका एक status built का एक अलग है. They are separate fan base. I mean we might not be part of that fan base.
See, I think there are levels to this. जैसा बोलते हैं ना कि ये इन लोगों को खुश करने के लिए जो लोग almost title run तक आके rank के ऊपर, these people always come up to the last step and last step पे हार के वापस नीचे चले जाते हैं ये लोग. उन लोगों के लिए BMF है. क्योंकि if you see what a person like John Jones, what he says about the pound for pound title, like not title, like the pound for pound greatest status, he discounts it like it's nothing. I don't understand this pound for pound. He doesn't care because he knows he's bigger than that.
हाँ, I mean
आज से
ज़्यादा सालों में साला वही था pound for pound. हाँ, नंबर 1 बात GSP से लेके वोल्कानोव्स्की तक
हाँ
he has been pound for pound.
देखो भाई लाइट हेवी वेट में he has defeated everybody significant, okay?
Right.
And उसके बाद हेवी वेट में जाके he instantly defeated a guy who the previous champion took a while to defeat. He defeated him within the first round. Cyril Gane जो है
हाँ, Cyril Gane का तो within first round 2 मिनट
2 मिनट
2 मिनट में बिठा दिया.
What I'm saying is कि previous champion in the sense Ngannou took a while to beat this guy.
Right.
And this guy, like, you know, John Jones beat him very quickly. So, पता नहीं यार, John Jones का you can't even compare. He's the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
तो
उसके लिए अपन लोग एक अलग podcast करेंगे.
हाँ, तो हम लोग BMF की बात कर रहे हैं कि how basically if it is significant or not. तो it depends. There are levels to this. For these guys, it may be, and it may be another feather in the cap for Holloway is what we see this move as in 155. Then yeah, if he gets a BMF title, he can go back and fight with Ilya or whatever he wants.
That would be an interesting fight to see.
Yeah.
Ilya versus
Holloway? I don't think so.
अरे नहीं, this guy is durable, that guy is unstoppable. Unstoppable force, immovable
It's an immovable object.
हाँ, वो थोड़ा. But yeah, but this fight ठीक है. Final prediction.
But I think this fight will damage Holloway enough to make him retire. If he gets enough punches from Justin, he's a goner, bro. I'm not kidding. This guy, see, durability reduces. You can't, like, you know, once you've been knocked out, you have a higher chance of being knocked out again.
Yeah.
Is what they say. So
Chuck Liddell बोला था ना, your chin gets jello after a while,
हाँ.
and then you keep on getting knocked out.
हाँ.
I think that's what happened with Volkanovski.
Yeah, that happened with Volkanovski. He came back too early बोलते हैं और वो सही भी है लगा मतलब at least results show that. और this guy Kamaru Usman as well.
मेरे को समझ एक्चुअली ठीक है, मैं प्रेडिक्शंस तो करेंगे. मेरे को फ्रैंकली अगर 300 का एक्साइटिंग फाइट ऑल दैट है, मेरे को पर्सनली अगर मैं इफ आई वुड हैव बीन अ मैनेजर ऑफ मैक्स हॉलोवे, मेरे को पॉइंटलेस दिख रही है फाइट एक्चुअली.
नहीं आई सी द पॉइंट.
I mean, the second feather in the cap is fine, but
नहीं immediately BMF title last time जीतने के बाद who will he defend the BMF title against? He can't do it against
BMF
Dustin.
title is just a वो क्या बोलते हैं शोबाजी. Nobody
हाँ
defends
तो
it.
नहीं in a way right now he's defending it. What
ये defending कर रहा, अब तो कर ही रहा है.
अब तो basically they're making a new culture out of BMF titles.
अच्छा.
You get it?
Right.
So
इसलिए 300 पे भी है.
हाँ 300 so हाँ
initiate कर रहे हैं.
हाँ so one of the first champions to defend his BMF title.
Final prediction.
Final prediction, I predict Holloway wins.
By
decision.
It's decision. Yeah.
Split or unanimous decision.
So I'll go with Justin.
Yeah.
Justin by.
I'll go with Holloway. Finally, we are on two different pages and we can see who wins.
Right.
Holloway.
I mean, I seriously want Max to win, but I'm going with Justin.
You don't like Justin?
No, I don't like Justin. Obviously,
I don't like Justin.
I hate Ali Abdulaziz. अभी मेरे को लग रहा है कि अगर मैक्स हॉलोवे जीतेगा तो डिसीजन से, वो तो तुम बोल दिए, बट फॉर अ चेंज लेट मी गो विद जस्टिन. दिस इज अ फूलिश डिसीजन बाय स्टॉपेज बोल रहा हूँ मैं, बट आई फाइंड जस्टिन बाय स्टॉपेज.
ठीक है, हॉलोवे.
डन. Alex
Pereira versus Jamal Hill.
अरे ना मोटा है जी.
कौन?
जमाल
मेरे को जमाल इज वियर्ड डूड. जमाल
इज अ वियर्ड फिजिकलिटी.
जमाल का मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया चैंपियन बना कैसे, ड्यूरेबल कैसे मतलब जीतता है वो.
नॉकआउट पावर. पर इन्हें इतना कॉन्फिडेंट है, क्या बोल रहा है मालूम? आई विल डिफीट हिम इन स्टैंड अप, बिकॉज दो चीजें बोल रहा कि इन्हें कॉम्पिटिटिव स्टैंड अप में नहीं रहा है किसी और के साथ, राइट? और मेरे पास नॉकआउट पावर है, राइट? एंड इफ आई हिट हिम हिज लाइट्स आर गोइंग टू गो ऑफ. वो उसका कॉन्फिडेंस है इसमें जाते हुए जमाल का.
आई मीन possible, ठीक है. We have seen him get knocked out by Izzy also, who's smaller than Jamal, frankly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
तो वो भी है. लेकिन apart from that, I think Alex is far more careful, far more. He evolves really fast. Alex is not a stupid fighter. He evolves. He has game plans. He studies fighters as well. You know, even against Yuri.
Right.
You could see him basically like, you know, he was not reckless with Yuri. He kept his distance. He stayed composed. He didn't fight for ego.
Yeah, he didn't.
He's
not an ego fighter.
He is not an ego fighter. He does not want to show that he's tough.
Despite having that face
of
a fighter and a warrior, he's a very calculative fighter.
there is no way he has to prove anything because people already consider him to be tough no matter what.
Yeah,
So there's no
exactly.
there's no thirst of like approval. I
Ah.
think Pereira wins, dude. Fuck,
Pereira wins.
I'm giving it right on.
Two
Huh?
things I have to
Yeah.
say here. First, Jamal Hill is coming off of a leg injury,
हाँ
and Pereira is expert in kicking that leg.
हाँ
वो एक फैक्टर है और
हाँ.
इसका फुट मूवमेंट कोई आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड फुट मूवमेंट नहीं है जो जमाल का, जो पेरेरा से डिफेंड कर सके वो
वही तो
कर
बोल रहा हूँ,
सके.
बट स्ट्रीट है वो, उसका कुछ भी आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड नहीं है सब. आई थिंक इट्स मोर ऑफ हिज
एक ही चीज वरी करना है पेरेरा को जमाल के अगेंस्ट. सबमिशन तो उतना मेरे को नहीं समझ, आई डोंट थिंक सो. आई थिंक ही हैज टू वरी ओनली अबाउट हिज पंच. दैट्स इट.
It's what John Jones says to Steve-O. You get comfortable with the worst case scenario and you're good. So
तो और एलेक्स पेरेरा का दिखता है कि आई नो इजी
whose reach is more?
सेम
Same reach.
सेम रीच
Height?
सेम वेट सेम, ऑब्वियसली वेट सेम. एज इसकी ज्यादा है पेरेरा की. जमाल की 32 है.
Okay.
इंजोर. पर आई वुड स्टिल से कि आई मीन इवन आई एम गोइंग विद पेरेरा ऑन दिस. व्हाई आई विल टेल यू. वी वर वाचिंग दोस इजी वीडियोस यस्टरडे. उन्हें उसमें बोल रहा था कि डैन ओकर और वो लोग बोल रहे थे कि इसका जो है नॉकआउट पावर इन्हें नहीं फेस किया. पेरेरा हैज नॉट फेस. For that, he was a kickboxer. He fought people with knockout powers, right?
I think Izzy said
And
that. Izzy
light
mentioned that.
heavyweight mein, right?
Izzy mentioned that. Izzy said that like it's there's no lack of experience here. Whatever he lacks in experience in the UFC, he makes up in the kickboxing days.
Kickboxing.
He
And
had many
only
fights.
threat, I think, then
Huh.
I mean, I stand corrected. I said earlier the only threat is a knockout power. I mean, yeah, and I don't stand corrected. I still stand by that statement that the only threat is the knockout power, because submission I don't see this guy. This guy could take him down,
Yeah.
make it a boring fight. Jamal Hill could do that.
Hmm.
Actually, Jamal Hill should do is make it a boring fight, taking down, drag on him.
What Ngannou did with Cyril. Yeah.
Not people.
I mean, Yuri was a better grappler than this guy, of course.
Easy.
No. Then Izzy, of course, but then Pereira.
Pereira, yeah.
He could take him down. Izzy, we have seen him submit Glover, so we know that like Yuri can take someone down as well and like submit them and all that.
Yuri का भी मेरे को लोअर का सबमिशन बोलते, but I find that he is उतना to hold somebody down is a skill in itself, which I don't think Yuri is there yet. So I find that Jamal, I mean, I don't think even Jamal is known for that, but I would suggest is that जीरी के लिए भी जमाल के लिए भी जीरी का तो खत्म हो गया, but जमाल के लिए is to stay on top of him. Finished. That's all his key to victories. Otherwise, I see Pereira taking it. I favor. Okay, you are going Pereira, right?
I'm going Pereira. I think Pereira by knockout.
Pereira by knockout.
Jamal will get flatlined.
Jamal.
I really think Pereira is a stand-up guy. I think he's a good champion. I think champions should be an example in and outside of the octagon, and I think Pereira has the qualities to be that. He's a good guy, a very good warrior when it comes to like his work, his fight, his his skill. So I think he's a great example just to have up there. I always have this idealistic view where the person on the top of the chain should be a good person.
Right.
So I choose Pereira. I want him to win.
All right.
Yeah.
I would choose Pereira as well. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.